Welcome back to Henry's Garage. In this episode I rebuild the carburettors for the MG just behind me, and that's it, so let's have a look. Right, so next thing I'm going to do is these carbs. So we're going to take these off, and then we've got this kit up here to sort them out. So we have 4 of these gaskets. I don't know what they're for. 2 of these. We've got 2 packs here of gaskets, so one for one carb, one for the other. We've also got 2 packs of these, so again one for one carb, one for the other. And then we got all these bits here. So, and then we actually have some instructions about how to do it, which is a nice change. So we are going to follow the instructions, and the first thing that they say to do is to thoroughly clean the outside of the carbs, standard suction chambers, remove the piston dampener and wash, unscrew the suction chamber. So I'm going to take them off. I'm going to take them apart. I'm going to use my parts cleaner here to give them all a good clean. That's what we're going to do first. I know this isn't the best angle to see what I'm doing, but air filters come off first, so we've got 2 half-inch bolts here and here to pull those out. Okay, so with the petrol coming from here along this pipe, and it comes in here into everything, so I'm going to take it off here, and that should leave the rest of this to come away altogether. So I'm going to undo this. I'm going to take out the choke and the accelerator cables and see where we are. Right, so the carbs seem to be just held on. Obviously I haven't got this off yet, but the carbs seem to be held on with just one bolt at the top and one at the bottom. I can't see how that backing plate is held there. So, and I can't work out how the accelerator comes off at the moment. I can't see it well enough. Oh, okay, it's a clip. Okay, so I'm leaving behind as much as I can. So that I know where things go, but I would like to take this off, to be honest, and paint it up. So obviously this bit comes off just from bolts at the top, and underneath it looks like it's just clipped on. So let me show you. So I've left everything in place so the gaskets are still there, just so that I know where it all goes. Okay. Oh, start again. So I've left the gaskets and these two springs down here in place, so I remember where it goes, and this pipe goes through a hook in here to go around. But I'd like to take this plate off, and it looks like it's just held on by clips. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clips. Sorry, so 2 at the bottom, 1 here, 2 here, and 2 at the top. So it looks like it's held on with that. So I think I'll come back and try to get that off so that I can tidy this all up a bit. But before we do that, we've got our carbs up here, and we know roughly how they go together, I think, and hopefully I have enough photos of it or video so that I can work my way around it. But what we'll do now is we'll take these apart and we'll get them cleaned up. So we're just going to concentrate on the one side. Okay, so I had a bit of trouble with one of those screws, but everything's come apart. And I've taken it apart now, so I'm just trying to work out what I've got replacements for within a kit. Okay, so and I'm really not at all sure. So when I look at what I've got here, I've clearly got this spring but not the nut. I've got a new, I don't know what it's called, but this pipe that goes from the carb to the overflow. Okay, and that's got the one nut but not the other. I don't know what these little bits, gosh, I don't know if was that in here? It was in, but just about. So I've also got in here these two bits, and I'm not sure where they go, so we're going to have to look at the instructions for that. And within here, well, first of all, I don't have these gaskets anywhere, and they didn't come in the set, in the kit, which is disappointing. And then I got some washers and bits in here, but so for example, I don't have a replacement for this, which fits in here, but I do seem to have a replacement for the other end, although it does look somewhat smaller. So what we're going to do next is we're going to bung these parts into the washer, not this bit obviously. We're going to bung these into the washer and get these washed up, and once we've done that, we'll take a, whilst we're doing that even, we'll have a little read about how this is meant to come apart. I think since I've got the rest of it off from a car's perspective, I'm going to take the inlet manifold off as well, which looks like it's just those 4 bolts which hold on both inlet and exhaust. So if I take this off as well, then I can clean this up as well. So we'll do that now. Goes to the brake over there, and this just came apart. So actually, I wonder if that might have been part of my braking problem with the juddering. That is possibly more reasonable than what I said yesterday or the other day. If that is not smooth, then you know, if I'm getting a vacuum leak because there was a slight tear in there. Anyway, so I need to buy a new one of those, and I just recorded a whole bunch of nothing. I just recorded a whole bunch showing you this stuff, and then realised I hadn't recorded. I pressed the record button to stop it. Okay, so what did I say? Well, I pulled this out without having seen it, and it's been in there for an hour, and it doesn't look too bad. It does, so we can see a bit of grime in there still, and there is some grime on some bits still. Coming out, there we go. But it's looking pretty good. I remembered why I don't have a gasket for the overflows. And the reason I don't have a gasket for the overflows is that I actually used them originally when I noticed I didn't have them. There we go, you can see quite a bit of grime in there still. So I'm going to put this one on again, just so you've got a comparison. That's what it looks like compared to what it looks like undone, uncleaned. So tomorrow, I don't like leaving this on when I'm not around, so tomorrow that will go on again, get a bit more. The others will go on, and I have tested that without the basket in the way, I can actually get this in as well, like that. And so we will do the inlet manifold as well, and we'll get everything nice and clean. And then look at what we need to do around pushing it all back together. So the manifold has been in the cleaner. What you can hear at the moment is the other car getting cleaned. So I'm just going to paint this. So I need to get the edging all nice. So that's a coat of primer applied to it, and we'll put it in the enamel silver afterwards. Okay, so that's the inlet manifold back on. It's been torqued to 22 Newton meters, which is the reading I'm finding within my Haynes manual over here. Here we go, manifold. In focus, I need my glasses on so I can see if it's focusing. So there we go, manifold. 20 to 22 Newton meters. So that seems awfully not very tight to me. So if I've got it wrong, please let me know. But that's there. Now, the next bit to go on is this cover. Okay, now I've only got 4 of the gaskets for here. One on this side. Let me show you. So I've got 4 of these gaskets. Okay, and that's one on either side of these spacers. Okay. Now I think one ripped when I took it off, but here I clearly had at least 5 and therefore probably 6 before. So with that in mind, I think I'm going to try to pick out, I don't know what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to pick out the best ones to reuse and put them back in, those 2, and we'll put those back in between the actual manifold and this cover. That's what we're going to do. I'll put gasket maker on both sides of it, so that should help it seal. Okay, now I'm jumping back and forth a bit. So yesterday I put this car back together. However, I had my cleaner working at the same time, and so you couldn't hear anything that I was saying, and it was just awful. So we're going to look at putting the other one back together today. So these parts are coming out of the cleaner right now. And in fact, I'm just going to turn you off, go put the air on and blow these dry, and then I'll come back to work through this. Okay, but it needs a bit of drying first. Right, so we've had the dryer on it, so that's all cleaned out. So I'm not sure if I remember the order I did things in yesterday. So I think we'll start with the float. So here I just need to pull this pin out. This bit now unscrews. So that's the new compared to the old. So I've already taken the gasket off here. So if we find the new gaskets. Okay, so it didn't come with a new washer, one of these rubber rings, so we're going to have to reuse what we have. This has been twisting on the and it looks like there's the problem right there. So is it that, oh yeah, so there's the problem right there. So that, look, has broken off. Right, interesting. How am I going to fix that? We're going to try some JB Weld on that and see how it does. Right, it's the next day. This has been glued on. It seems to have stuck. I didn't use JB Weld in the end because my packet isn't open. I use this Gorilla epoxy, which seems to have worked okay. So let's see where we were. We got that together. This goes on here, and that would explain why. I mean, I don't know how strong this is going to be, but that would explain why this was twisting before. So this goes in like that. Ah, blast. No, that's done no good at all. As soon as we got pressure on that, it came off. Okay, what am I going to do? For now I'm going to put it back together as is, knowing that I've got this problem, and see where I go from there. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, I missed a bit of video there, but the glue-in did not work. I'm not sure if I captured that. So this is twisting still. I've left the piece in there. I'm just going to put it back together with it like that until I come up with a better solution. If anyone's got one for me, please pass it on. Yeah. Okay, so what's next? So this goes on here and into the back of here. Okay, we'll tighten this all the way up. Now I'm trying to remember where this goes. Ah, did it go on here? That's where it goes. Okay, so that's just tightened up like that. I've already put this bit in, so this now comes on here. The washer that goes on here. This one goes in here. So we can fit this back on now. Alright, and there's it all back on. I turned them, I opened them up 1.5 turns, so 9 sides, you know, the jets at the bottom. So they're both at the same position. Everything's back together and tightened up as it was before. So I'm going to just turn on the engine, not the engine, the ignition, so that we get the fuel pump going to see if we've got any fuel leaks. Okay, so I can hear the fuel pump going. And I can smell fuel. Oh gosh, right, so we're now well, so we went straight to an overflow here. And it looks like the other side as well. Yeah, both of them. Right, so why are they overflowing? That would mean that the float isn't dropping far enough. Okay, this is one of the bits that we took out, we replaced in the carburetor. It goes into the top of the float. Yeah, above the float, this gets screwed in, and this goes in, and it's free moving. And I think when the float is pressing up against it, so this is out, and then the float comes in, pushes it up, and that should stop the fuel going through, because it enters through here, comes out through here. So if this blocks it, we have no more fuel. Okay, so I think the float is clearly not closing it for some reason. So we're going to look at one first, and I'm going to take it off and turn it on again and see if I can stop by pressing on the float. So I won't even have it on the chamber that has the fuel in it. So that takes quite a bit of pressure on it to stop it. Right, well it does work. It is stopping it. I don't know why it chose to overflow. I'm going to try putting it back together and see if it still does. Okay, I've got that set up to try and catch any fuel. It sounds like it's stopping. Oh, the other one's leaking. Just show you what I've got on the ground. So the other one I actually have a overflow pipe on, just here. And that has done that. Can you see that? Oh, great. Right. We'll have a look at that one now. Right, I've taken off the overflow pipe so it's easier to see if it is overflowing. I've taken this off and just had a little play with it, because this is the one that's broken, and that might overflow if this is at the wrong angle. So I'm going to just try twisting it like this a bit and see if that does it. There we go, and the pump's switched off. Okay, so they just needed a bit of a play maybe. So both seem okay now. I'm not quite sure why that would be, but there we are. Okay, right, so I'm just going to put some oil in here to dampen them, and then I'm going to consider my rebuild of the carbs to be complete. Okay, we're going to call that the end of the episode for rebuilding of the carbs. In the next episode we'll try to get them balanced, they should be, and tuned properly. I now have new gasket. In fact, given that it was something like £7 for one because of postage and it was £10 for 5, I've got 5. And this is also a new hose for the brake, from the brake servo to the vacuum. So we'll get those on, and then we'll try starting the engine. Oh, and we'll bolt everything down, and we'll try the engine and see how it goes. Do like, subscribe, comment, and if the carb that I've got where the bowl isn't secure, if anyone's got a fix for me about how to do that, I'd like to hear it. Thanks.